Hey everyone, it's Lexie. So in today's video I'll be sharing with you the movies, music, and TV shows that I watch and listen to over the month of August. So it was kind of a good multimedia month. I feel like I was just very lethargic after my big exams and I was just like, watch like movie or a TV show. Like that was kind of just my way of relaxing because I was just so lethargic. So there's like a bit more media in here that I'm excited to talk about. So without further ado, let's get started. So starting out with music, honestly, since it was released, I've only ever been listening to Folklore by Taylor Swift. I've honestly just had it on repeat. When I do go in the car, it's just replaying, the album's replaying on my iPod, so like I've honestly had not stopped listening to it. I think now that I've been listening to it like basically non-stop for like a month, I would say my favorite of the album is probably My Tears Ricochet. Even though like I had like huge list of songs that I talked about in my review, I think that's my favorite of the album. So I love it. I think in September I'm going to add a little bit more kind of, you know, diversity to my reading, diversity to my music, because I've listened to the same thing nonstop, because Kelsey Ballerini has a new album coming out, which is just basically her Kelsey songs from her third album, just, you know, sung in a different way. So I'm curious about that. But you know, maybe that will kind of, you know, mix up my music for September. But like I said, it's just been Folklore ever since it was announced. So moving on to TV shows, I finished Dead to Me on Netflix, and this series is so good. I heard so many great things about it when the first season came out, and like I said, I'm kind of late to the bandwagon on this show, but it was just super amazing. The acting in here is spectacular. It's just really well done. I think I'm curious to see what the third and final season has in store. And it's very, like, for me, when characters are lying and you know that they're lying, and it's just like the webs that we weave and they just kind of lock themselves more into that lie, like it makes me super stressed out. But there were so many twists and turns over these two seasons. Like, it was just very well done. I loved, like, it's just very good. I don't understand why it's called a black comedy, because it's not really a comedy, but I don't know. But the series is just amazing. Go ahead and check it out on Netflix. Like I said, it's super good. The acting in here is just amazing, and I cannot wait for season 3. So after I finished Dead to Me, me and my brother have been kind of rewatching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I think we're on season 6 as of right now, so that show's just fun. We kind of alternate between like Parks and Recs, The Office, and, you know, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, so we kind of shifted from The Office to Brooklyn Nine-Nine, so we've just been kind of rewatching that. It's just a fun series to watch, just have it in the background while, you know, we're just relaxing at the end of the day. And I've also started watching season 3 of Tangled, the series. It's finally on Disney Plus, because I got behind when like season 1 was out, and so I've been slowly kind of rewatching the series. So season 3 is finally out there. The season 2 ended on a big cliffhanger, and so I'm excited to see. I think this is the final season 2 actually, which was a little bit sad, but it's really well done. I think if you like Tangled, I think this kind of adds more, you know, background and narrative to the characters. It explores important themes, but it also kind of keeps the humor and banter that we're familiar with a lot of these characters. So even though I'm 25 years old, I still enjoy my Disney TV shows, so I'll be watching that. But there's so many new TV shows now that I want to watch, like Sister Sisters now on Netflix. I remember watching that when I was little. I think that will be like my new show to watch, but I also want to watch like Mad Men, which I haven't seen. If you have any TV suggestions, let me know, because I'm looking for some, because I kind of finished like the main ones that I wanted to. But yeah, let me know your TV suggestions, because I'm always looking for those. So moving on to movies to start out the month, we first watched the Guernsey Literary Potato Peel Society movie that was on Netflix. I read this book like August 2018, and I saw that there was always like a Netflix movie of it, but I never got around to watching it, so we watched it with my parents. It was good. Like, I liked how it was able to kind of, because the book is told through kind of letters, so I liked how it was able to kind of make like a kind of a regular storyline out of it. I loved the characters. I loved how there was a few Downton Abbey characters in here, and it was just interesting, like the island itself and just the, you know, environment, like the setting that the characters were in was really interesting. I loved the fashion, the acting was very good. So if you're looking for a World War II movie that has Downton Abbey characters in it, or actors in it, go and check this one out. It was really fun. So me and my brother, when my parents were self-isolating in Canada for 2 weeks, it was just me and my brother, and so we were like, you know what, my brother's like, I just want to watch Lilo and Stitch, because we always like send each other like funny like memes of like just some of the things that's said in that movie. Like we always send those like memes to each other, and so we watched it, and that was probably the first time we watched it in like 15 years, like no joke. Like we used to watch it when we were little. I think it came out in 2002, so like I was like a little bit older, but like we were still relatively young when we kind of watched it, and it's been within like probably 10 plus years since we've, you know, sat down and rewatched the film. So we laughed so hard. Like my brother was laughing the entire time. It's just, you know, just it's quirky and it works, and it was just a lot of fun kind of revisiting something that was like an old favorite of ours that, you know, we're watching now as adults. I think was just very interesting, a very interesting dynamic. It was a lot of fun, and like I said, my brother laughed the whole time. So next I ended up watching the live action remake of Beauty and the Beast, and it's been a while since I've watched that film, like ever since I moved back home. Like when I was living in my apartment during my master's, like I would watch Disney movies all the time because it was just me there, but you know, gets a little bit more, you know, tedious to get the family to watch a Disney movie, because, you know, there's like, oh, they're like, no, we don't want to watch Disney movies. So I took the opportunity, because my brother was playing video games downstairs, and I'm like, you know what, it's just me and Tucker, and so we're gonna rewatch this because I loved it. I saw it in theaters with my friend, and I like it. I like Emma Watson, like perfect. So I watched it. It was fun. I like the music, all that stuff, just like the, you know, the set design, the outfits I really love. So it was just fun. I never watched like the cartoon version of it, so like I'm not as attached to the cartoon. I prefer the live action remake actually, so oh well. But I love this movie. It was just a lot of fun, and the soundtrack, I remember listening to the soundtrack in my apartment as I'd, like, you know, make breakfast and that, so that's how cool I am. My brother ended up picking Free Solo, which is a movie about the guy who free climbs like one of the tallest kind of free solo things, and it kind of documents his training process and then eventually the climb. I think this one kind of won an Academy Award or like one of those things. Like it's very, the cinematography in here is beautiful and stunning, and just how they got the shots I think is just amazing. But it was more interesting, like, because I didn't know anything about this. My brother knew more about this Alex guy who actually climbed it, but it's very interesting. Like they did like an MRI of this guy's brain, and whatever like fear response normal people have, he does not have. So like he doesn't process fear the same way we do. Like there's obviously something kind of wrong with him. Like professional climbers who knew him were brought to tears with the thought of him doing this climb, and he's like, oh, if I die I die, whatever, like my girlfriend will move on. Like it was just very interesting. I don't like this guy as a person, but it was very interesting seeing how he was totally just didn't care about the people, about how they felt about him doing it. I think was very interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Go watch this movie. Like it's very, like, the cinematography in here is very beautiful, but also kind of getting to learn more about this Alex character and the people that were involved in his life I think is very interesting. Like I said, I don't really like this guy as a person, but I enjoyed the movie. And lastly, I watched Elephants, which is like the Disney nature documentary movie on elephants, and I didn't know this, but as I was watching it I realized it was narrated by like Megan, the Duchess of Sussex, which I thought was very interesting because I didn't know that. But yeah, I was like, you know, I like, you know, elephants, and it was so funny because Tucker, our dog, was like, he could hear the elephant sounds, so he came and sat in front of the TV and like watched it, and then he would go in his little bed, but lay down in his bed, but in a way that he could still watch the TV, which was really cute. But I like this. It kind of chronicles this kind of herd of elephants and their journey from like the delta to where they go when it dries up, like their migration that they do over the course of a year. I thought it was very well done. It's like just the, how do they get these shots? That's what I want to know. Do they just like follow these elephants for like every day for like a year? Like, it's very interesting, the process behind it. I'm very curious about that. Sorry, I kicked the tripod. But it was just really, it was, like I said, beautiful. The shots in here are beautiful, and just the narration of the kind of story of the elephants. And I think it's also interesting too, it touches into how elephants have very good memory, and just their interesting process with grieving. It's very interesting to me, and it kind of highlights some of that stuff, and just how they have like that connection, deep connection to the history of the generation of elephants before them. Very well done. They also have one for monkeys, like chimpanzees, I think, which I will definitely watch you know, later. But it was really well done. You know, Megan did a good job at, like, I don't know why everyone hates on her, to be quite honest. Like, I honestly, you know, she doesn't do anything wrong. Like, she's just living her life. So, you know, go check this one out if you're interested in elephants. I love elephants, and it was just fun to watch, and Tucker obviously loved it as well. So that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this rambly wrap up of the media that I consumed over the month of August. I definitely have new plans for TV shows that I'm really excited about. Now that I don't have classes, I have like more free time this semester, and I'm like, okay, like I have reading to do, but also, you know, Disney Plus. Sorry, I got an email. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any, you know, media suggestions for me. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.